Most people will tell you that buying a home is the ultimate sign of financial success. But as we move through March 2026, that advice isn't just outdated. It's a mathematical trap. Let's look at the raw numbers. Today, the national average 30-year fixed mortgage rate has climbed back to 6.92%, with the median home price hovering around $360,000. Your monthly payment is being eaten alive by interest. In the first 10 years of that loan, you aren't building equity. You're just paying the bank for the privilege of staying there. But the interest is only half the story. The hidden costs of homeownership, taxes, insurance, and maintenance now exceed $16,000 a year nationally. In cities like Boston, that number jumps to over $21,000. That isn't equity. That's a subscription fee for a building you think you own. But what if you pivoted? Look at the equity markets. The total stock market, represented by funds like VTI, is trading around $313, or the S&P 500 through SPLG, sitting near $74. Let's look at the syllabus. Over the last 30 years, U.S. residential real estate has averaged about 4.2% annual growth. But after you subtract property taxes, insurance, and that unforeseen roof repair, your net return often drops below 2%. Compare that to the S&P 500. Even with the volatility of the early 2020s, the index has maintained a historical average of over 10%. On a $300,000 portfolio, that 8% difference isn't just extra money. It's the difference between retiring at 60 or working until 80. One is a shelter, the other is a wealth engine. You have to decide which one you're building. History shows us that while a house is a liability that you live in, these broad market index funds are assets that work for you. If you want to build true generational wealth in this economy, you have to stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a faculty member. Join the Faculty of Finance. Your first lesson in generational wealth starts here. Hit subscribe. Class dismissed.